Alright, welcome back to another one of my wee healthy recipe videos. So the last video I posted, which was a chickpea salad recipe, got a really good response, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who reached out, who remade the wee salad, and then who let me know how they got on and how much they enjoyed it, because that is my main aim for making this content, making these videos, is that I can help people edge towards a better health and a healthier lifestyle, because when you regain your health, there's no better gift to yourself is when you give yourself back that full level of health, and food is medicine, and I really do believe that. So today is going to be another wee healthy recipe video. Of course, it's going to include some chickpeas, and yeah, I'm just going to talk you through it. It's going to be plant-based, it's going to be vegan, it's going to be high protein, high healthy fats, and also high in nutrients and vitamins, which is very important. Obviously, it's also high in fiber, so it keeps you full for longer. Really good for healthy, sustainable weight loss. Okay, I always stress that healthy, sustainable weight loss. Why go on a diet if you're not going to be able to stick to it, or why start a lifestyle if you're not going to be able to stick to it? Okay, so yeah, I really hope you enjoyed today's wee video. As always, if you end up making the wee recipe, please do take a wee photo of it, stick it up in your story, tag me, and then tag someone else to make the wee meal as well, because that's what this is all about. We want to really create that encouraging community vibe to get everyone eating healthier. It's better to do things when you're in a community rather than try and do it on your own. Okay, so let's really try and push that. If you make a recipe and you enjoy it, share it, pass it on, challenge someone else to make it. If they've never tried chickpeas before, challenge them to try some chickpeas. And yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed today's wee video anyway. Let me know how you get on if you end up making it, and yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Right, so here is the ingredients that you're going to need for today's recipe. The most important thing, of course, is going to be your 2 tins of chickpeas. 2 tins of chickpeas. Then, also very important, is the nutritional yeast flakes. You can get these in Holland and Barrett. You can also get them in Tesco's. And then you can order them online as well. Then instead of the balsamic vinegar today, I'm going to use some balsamic glaze. So it does have balsamic vinegar in it, but it's just, this is a lot more, it's kind of like a syrup more so than a vinegar, because it's quite like gloopy, but it's really nice. It adds a nice like sweetened flavour. And then you can pick whatever seasons you like. I have this one at the minute, just because I've been craving Thailand, miss it so much. I have this seasoning that I'm going to put on the chickpeas, and then this harissa spices, I'm going to put that in the guacamole, because that's going to be the wee dip that goes on the side. So you're also going to need a little onion. I'm going to use 2 avocados because I'm fasting from 1 o'clock today. I'm going to be starving. You need a wee lime, or you can use a lemon, and then coriander. I don't know what people's opinions are on coriander, so it's like a love-hate thing, but I absolutely love it. So I'm going to be using loads of that, and then some tomatoes. And this tin opener's broke at the minute, and it literally took me like 30 minutes to open 1 tin of chickpeas last night. So let's hope it's not the same problem again. Right, wish me luck here. Fingers crossed. Oh no! You want to see what I'm having to do here? This is defo not safe. The chickpea juice is going everywhere! Oh. Oh, there we go. Now, as I always say, with any legumes, so like that's like beans, chickpeas, peas, split peas, lentils that you get in a can, you always want to rinse them off, okay? Because there's like a residue that comes on top of the chickpeas and beans and whatever that can be very harsh on the digestive system, okay? But if you rinse that off, you don't get them same bloating and gas effects, okay? So switch your water on and rinse off that residue. So once your chickpeas have been washed and drained, you're going to put them onto a pan. Now, like I say, I don't put any oil on the pan. There's no need to, especially if you have a non-stick pan. Save the calories. Don't need to add unnecessary oil into your diet. And just pop the chickpeas on. no water or nothing, just use a wee bit of water that came with the rinsing, and this will help them really crisp up. So as I mentioned in the last wee video that I put up, the wee healthy recipe video, I don't use any oil when I'm cooking, okay? I just use a tiny wee bit of water to coat the pan, and as I go along, I'll add more water if needed, if the pan starts to get a wee bit dry. Obviously, it's better to use a non-stick pan here, and that's where you want to go towards, so you can use either no oil or as little oil as possible, okay? So my main reason for explaining the last time was because of how dense in calories oil is and how easy it is to consume those calories without even realizing that you've done so, okay? So per tablespoon of oil is averages 120 calories, okay? And if you think about it, if you're not measuring your oil and you're just kind of throwing it on, you're easily pouring 300 calories onto your food without even realizing, okay? But then I got hit with a question of people asking me, well, do you not use the 1 calorie oil sprays? And my answer is no, I don't use these. I avoid these as much as I possibly can. And the reason for that is because usually when things come with, 9 times out of 10 when things are low calorie, 0 sugar, all that, then they come with artificial flavors and sweeteners. And these things aren't good for our health, okay? They're really especially not good for our gut health and our microbiome, okay? Now, we have another brain. People think we only have the one brain. We don't. We have another brain down in our gut, okay? Our gut microbiome. And it's where most of our serotonin is produced, interestingly, and this is our feel-good hormone, okay? So if you're not eating right, you're feeding your gut microbiome and your dysbiosis. No wonder you're going through these mood swings and not feeling well, depression, like all things like that can all be tied to our gut, okay? It's fascinating, it's absolutely fascinating. But artificial sweeteners are one of those things that create dysbiosis in the gut. So that is my reason for staying away from those 1 calorie, low calorie, whatever sprays. Again, we want to be edging towards the whole food here, okay? Especially when it comes to oil, okay? You look at oil is the refined product. The same way sugar is the refined product of fruit or the refined product of the sugar cane, the plant. Oil is a refined product of that whole food, of that whole avocado, of that whole coconut. And the way I see it is I would much rather eat the whole food in whole form, the coconut, the avocado, the olive. I would much rather eat that, because with that, you're getting the fiber, you're getting the nutrients attached to it. Once you start to refine things and you extract the fiber from it, you lose a lot of nutrients in the process, okay? Save your calories, save your health. Oil can also block up our arteries, lead to heart attacks, lead to stroke. It can lead to acne. Oil does that with me. It would lead to acne if I'm having too many oily foods. It would create this base on my face. So there's a lot of reasons why I avoid oil, but they are a few of them. And I encourage you, for a really good, again, healthy, sustainable weight loss tip, is try to either eliminate oil completely or use a tiny amount. Use the likes of vinegar, soy sauce, maybe vegetable broth. It doesn't have to be plain water. You can boil up some vegetable broth and use that instead. But yeah, that's just another wee tip and something that I use and something that helps me with my food. So now I'm going to add some of the wee Thai seasoning. I'll just show you what that has in the back of it, just out of curiosity. So there's dried garlic, dried onion, coriander leaf, chili flakes, lemongrass, ginger, red bell pepper and basil. Now we're going to add some of this wee balsamic glaze, which comes with balsamic vinegar, but it's very, you'll see it yourself, it's a lot more kind of like syrupy kind of consistency. So you can use this instead of the vinegar. It also adds a bit more of a sweet taste than the vinegar does. Glaze here is that it gives it like a sticky kind of residue, okay? And then it means when we come to then top the chickpeas with this wee cheesy, nutty, nutritional yeast, then it sticks a lot better onto the wee chickpeas. So now let's talk about B12. Now this is nutritional yeast, okay, or nooch as it's also called. And what it is, it's basically yeast flakes, okay, and it has a real like nutty, cheesy flavor, and you would use it the way you would use cheese in recipes. So over pasta, I use it over salads. You can use it on chickpeas, make them nice and cheesy. That's exactly what we're doing today. So why I love adding this into my foods is that it has a lot of vitamins and nutrients that you can just literally sprinkle on your food. It's high in B12, it's high in zinc, it's high in iron, high in folic acid, so B9. It's also high in fiber and it's a good wee protein source as well, okay? So let's talk about B12 then, all right? There's a lot of misconceptions around B12, and one of the main ones is that it's not actually a B vitamin, okay? It's a soil-based bacteria. That is where we get B12 from, essentially. We get it from our soil, and the food that is grown from that soil, we then eat that food, and that food contains the B12, all right? But the problem nowadays is that our soil is extremely depleted. To have the same, I find this very interesting and quite scary also. So in comparison to when my granny was growing up, to get the same nutrients that you would out of one head of broccoli when my granny would have been alive, you would need to eat 3 heads of broccoli now just to get them same level of nutrients, okay? So that is to stress how much our soil is now depleted nowadays. And that is where these B12 issues are coming from, okay? People, especially people in the meat industry and stuff, they'll create this kind of thing that there's a big deficiency among vegetarians and vegans for B12 levels. And look, that's just not the case, okay? 70% of the population worldwide have a B12 deficiency, 70%, okay? And that's worldwide. That's meat eaters, that's everyone in that loop. But interestingly enough, meat, dairy and fish eaters are actually at an 8% higher incidence for B12 levels being so low. Okay, so it isn't a vegan vegetarian issue. That is another myth, all right? It really isn't. If anything, you can get animals are supplemented with B12 because again, they aren't getting it from their soil and their feed. So they are being supplemented with B12. And that's why people may have higher levels in their food if they eat meat and dairy and fish and whatever. But why not just cut out the middleman and take the supplement yourself? That's what I do. That is my opinion. Why not cut out the middleman? You can take the supplement directly, or you can have it in your fortified foods like the likes of this, or also the likes of the plant milks and the plant yogurts and stuff are also fortified with B12, all right? So now time to make the guacamole. I'm going to use I was going to say 2 chickpeas. I'm obsessed. I'm going to use 2 avocados for the guacamole today. Now, that is because I am in hibernation mode. And I need fed today. So just you use as little or as many avocados as you like, okay? The more the merrier in this case. Yes, definitely when it comes to avocados. I'm going to use 2. And let's hope that these are good avocados because I will be quite sad if they aren't. Right, moment of truth. Right, this takes skill. Let me see. Oh, how smooth is that? Okay, now on to avocado number 2. Okay, let's see if I can do this for a second time. If I can, somebody owes me a favor. Yes, skill. I think this is probably my favorite part of like the avocado process. Is like scooping it out of this. It's like so sensory. I love it. Tap. Scoop. Boop. Please let me know. Is there anyone that eats as much avocado as I do? I would eat about 2 a day. I'm not gonna lie. Like. Recently, especially, see, because of these winter nights, these cold days, I'm just eating like a horse, eating for a family of 6. Right, there we go. Nice. Then we're going to add some of the harissa spices. Give it a wee bit of spice. Yummy. Mix again. Mix. So here's a wee tip for when you're cutting your onions. Put a spoon of some sort in your mouth and it blocks out the effect of when the onions make your eyes water. So now we're going to put some of the onion into our guac. To add as little or as much onion as you want here, obviously just your personal preference. Okay, so now we're adding some citrus, some vitamin C into our guac. A wee bit of lime juice, gives it a nice sour kind of flavour, balances it out. And now I'm gonna cut up and add some tomatoes in. Okay, now last but certainly not least, we're gonna add some coriander into our guacamole, okay? Now, I don't know what your stance is on coriander. I absolutely love it. Like, I'm gonna add loads of it into here. But coriander is excellent for helping to detoxify the body, okay? It really extracts the toxins and heavy metals from our body and gets them out there. It's really good for a cleanse. So I have coriander every single day, but it is for flavour, but it's brilliant that it also has these added benefits as well. Here we have it then. This is today's wee meal. Cheesy chickpeas with a really healthy, lovely, nutritious guacamole dip. And that's just going to be a nice wee lunch snack for me. The worst thing about making these videos is you be starving the whole way through it. And you just can't wait to get stuck in when they're over. So, wee bit of this, wee bit of that, straight into the gob. Ten out of 10. Yeah. Just to finish off today's wee video, I just really want to stress that our health is our wealth. I know you probably hear that saying, but it really, really is. When you're at your best, when you're feeling your best, you're a better person. You can get more things done. You can be a better friend. You can be a better partner. Everything, it just ties into the whole of life. And I really, really do believe that food is medicine. I've read hundreds, thousands of studies, watched so many lectures, read so many books on the power of food, and in particular the power of plants, okay? Healthy eating, even the fact that we have to call it healthy eating is mad. Like, this is the way that we are supposed to eat, okay? We eat more like this, there's less diseases, less illnesses. We come away from this and start eating more processed stuff. We are dampening our personality, we are dampening our potential. I don't think people actually realise the power that food has over them. When you start to clean up your diet, you start to eat more foods that have actually been grown from the ground, the energy you actually take from that food, it's unbelievable. And the way you're able to then apply that into your life and become a better version of yourself is just fascinating. So I really, really do encourage each and every person, if you watch this video, just to try and add something more healthier into your diet, whether it's an extra bowl of vegetables, whether it's an extra few pieces of fruit, like anything you can do. Get more legumes into your diet, eat more chickpeas. All these foods are so good for us, and they should really be added in when and where we can, especially if you have a young family with developing kids and developing teenagers. Like, they need to be eating more of this stuff, whole plant-based foods, okay? The power in it is unbelievable, and you won't actually know until you try it yourself. You can listen to me yap on all day long, but I really, really do encourage you to try this wee recipe today, try the other recipe that I put up, and continuously try out the recipes that I'm going to continue to post, because I am going to try and keep this up as much as I can on top of my job and stuff. But yeah, anyway, I really, really hope that you enjoyed this wee recipe video, and stick it up, tag me, tag a friend, let people know. Let's create this craze, let's create this community vibe where everyone's just striving for healthier, happier lives through our food and through our diet. So try and make some better choices today, try eat some more vegetables, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for joining me.